My name is Charlie. I have lived with this story inside me for so long that sometimes it feels like it is part of my body, like a second heart that beats only at night. I never planned to tell it. I never wanted to admit it. But some truths don't disappear just because you stay silent. I grew up loving my sister more than anyone else in the world. She was my only family. After we lost our parents, she became everything to me, my guide, my protector, my reason to stay strong. I learned how to hide my sadness so she wouldn't worry. I learned how to smile so she wouldn't feel guilty for choosing her own life. She deserved happiness more than anyone I knew. When she married him, I believed she had finally found it. Her husband was calm, patient, and gentle. He spoke softly and listened carefully. He treated my sister with respect, not just in public, but in the small moments that mattered. I trusted him completely. I never imagined I would one day fear my own heart because of him. After their wedding, my sister asked me to live with them for a while. She said the house felt too quiet. She said families should stay together. She said she didn't want me to be alone. I said yes without thinking. Their home was warm and peaceful. I felt like a guest at first, careful with every step, every word. I stayed in my room most of the time, giving them space. I didn't want to disturb their new life. My sister worked long hours. Some nights, she came home exhausted, her smile fading into silence. On those nights, the house felt empty, even though it wasn't. Her husband and I began sharing small moments. Cooking when my sister worked late. Sitting quietly in the living room. Talking about ordinary things, work, books, childhood memories. Nothing personal. Nothing dangerous. At least, that's what I told myself. But emotions don't arrive loudly. They arrive quietly, slowly, and by the time you notice them, they are already inside you. I noticed how he listened when I spoke. Not politely, deeply, like my words mattered. No one had ever listened to me like that before. I told myself it meant nothing. One night, I couldn't sleep. My chest felt heavy, my thoughts loud. I sat alone in the living room with the lights off. I didn't hear him come in. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. I said yes. I always said yes. He didn't believe me. He didn't touch me. He didn't move closer. He just sat there, sharing the silence. In that moment, I felt seen in a way I never had before. That was the beginning of something I never wanted. Days passed. Weeks passed. I started noticing him too much. The sound of his footsteps, the way his voice softened when he spoke to me, the way he avoided my eyes when my sister was in the room. I hated myself for noticing. I prayed it would stop. It didn't. One evening, I broke down crying in my room. Years of pain came out at once. Loneliness, comparison, the feeling of always living behind my sister's light. I thought I was alone. I wasn't. He stood at the door, frozen. "I'm sorry," I said quickly. "I didn't mean for you to see this." "You don't have to apologize for being human," he said quietly. I told him everything. How invisible I felt. How tired I was of being strong. How much pressure I carried so my sister wouldn't suffer. He listened. He didn't judge. He didn't fix me. That was the moment love crossed a line neither of us chose. After that, we tried to create distance. We avoided being alone together. We avoided eye contact. But love doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. It lived in the pauses between words. in the silence that felt too heavy, in the guilt that followed me everywhere. We never touched, never kissed, never said the words out loud. But love doesn't need touch to exist. Every time my sister hugged me, I felt like a traitor. Every time she smiled, I felt unworthy of her trust. I lived with constant guilt, even though nothing had happened. One night, he stopped me in the hallway. His hands were shaking. "I love my wife," he said. "I would never hurt her, but I feel something for you, and I don't know how to make it stop." Tears filled my eyes. "This love is wrong," I whispered. "It should never exist." "I know," he said softly. "That's why it hurts so much." We cried without touching. Two people choosing pain over betrayal. After that, the house became unbearable. The silence screamed louder than any argument. My sister noticed. One evening she asked me, her voice breaking, if she had done something wrong. That question destroyed me completely. That night, before sunrise, I packed my bags. I left a letter saying I loved her, that this was not her fault, that I needed to find myself. I didn't tell the truth. I carried it alone. I left without looking back. Years passed. I heard they stayed together. They had a child, a future, a life I was never meant to be part of. I never married. Some love stories don't end. They stay unfinished inside you. Sometimes, late at night, I still think about him. Not with desire, not with hope, just with quiet sadness. Because some love comes into your life not to stay, but to teach you how painful doing the right thing can be. I didn't disappear completely after I left. I just learned how to live smaller. I moved to a new city where no one knew my name, where no one compared me to my sister, where my past could stay silent. I found a simple job, a small apartment, days that passed without anyone asking me how I felt. At first, the silence was unbearable. I would wake up reaching for my phone, forgetting that I had changed my number. I would hear a voice in my head that sounded like his, then remember I had chosen to leave it behind. I told myself every day that I had done the right thing. Some days I believed it. Other days, the guilt felt heavier than love ever had. Years passed slowly. Time didn't heal anything. It only taught me how to carry the pain without showing it. I never let anyone get close. People tried. I smiled politely and stepped back. Loving once like that had taught me fear. Then one afternoon, everything returned. I was walking home when I saw my sister's name on my phone. For a long moment, I couldn't breathe. I almost didn't answer. But I did. Her voice was older, softer, tired. "Charlie," she said, and my name sounded like home and danger at the same time. "I've been looking for you." We met a week later. She looked happy, but not the loud happiness she once had. A quiet one, the kind that survives storms. She told me about her child, about life, about growing older. She never mentioned him at first. Then she did. She said he had changed after I left, that he became more present, more careful, more grateful, that their marriage survived something she never fully understood. She looked at me for a long time. "Did I lose you because of him?" she asked quietly. I felt my heart split open. I could have lied. I could have protected myself. But love demanded honesty. Finally, "Yes," I whispered, "but not the way you think." I told her everything. Not dramatically, not emotionally, just the truth, about the feelings we never acted on, about the guilt, about leaving before it could become something unforgivable. She cried silently. Then she did something I never expected. She hugged me. I knew something was wrong, she said, but I also knew you would never hurt me on purpose. Her forgiveness hurt more than anger ever could. Before we parted, she said one last thing. He loved you, but he chose me, and you chose us. I nodded. Later that evening, he asked to see me. I almost said no, but some stories need endings. We met in a quiet place. He looked older, tired, human. For a long time, we didn't speak. Then he said, I never stopped respecting you. I said, I never stopped carrying the weight. We didn't apologize. There was nothing left to apologize for. He thanked me for leaving, for choosing what was right, for protecting something fragile. I thanked him for never crossing the line. We didn't hug. We didn't touch. We said goodbye like two people who finally understood that love doesn't always mean staying. That was the last time I saw him. I didn't feel broken after that. I felt finished. Today, I live a quiet life. I still love deeply but carefully. I still believe in love, but I no longer chase it when it costs too much. Some people come into your life to stay. Others come to teach you who you are when you choose pain over desire. My name is Charlie, and this is the love that taught me how to walk away and still remain whole. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Your support means a lot.